Chapter 22. For as long as Davis can remember, he sat on this very rock. The air is thick and humid, smelling of rain even though it never rains here. Sunlight filters down through the broad maple leaves in narrow shafts, illuminating particles of mist and dust. Something will happen soon, something important. But the woods never change. The steady daylight never edges toward dusk. The fog never completely lifts. Still he sits and waits. A cardinal lands on a branch across the clearing, its red plumage standing out boldly against the encompassing green of the forest. It opens its beak and begins to sing, a sound so pure and beautiful it makes the young man ache with inexplicable longing. He closes his eyes to listen, and the song abruptly ceases. When he looks again, the bird is gone. It has vanished into thin air, almost as if it had never been there in the first place. And yet one trace remains. On the ground below the branch lays a splotch of brilliant red like fresh blood staining the forest floor. Davis approaches it cautiously, leaving the safety of his rock to sate his growing curiosity. One long feather lay in the dirt at his feet. Looking painfully out of place, he twirls it between his fingers. It's lighter than air, and twice as soft as rabbit's fur. An echo of the haunting bird song still rings in his ears, filling him with that same unfulfilled desire. It held such promise, such potential, but now it's gone, and he knows in his soul he'll never hear it again. And the memory of that glorious song starts to rapidly fade, like water trickling through his fingers, like rapidly fading dream, like he didn't imagine it. No, he couldn't have imagined it. His imagination isn't nearly that vivid. He cups the feather in his hands, desperate to cling on to the only evidence of the event ever happened. The plume is weightless. He can't even feel it tickle his skin. He doesn't dare to peek to see if it's still there. And then, just like that, the memory slips away completely. A terrible sense of loss overwhelms him. It chokes him, threatening to bring him to his knees. Why was he given such a wonderful gift only to have it stolen from him? It just isn't fair. What's wrong? Davis whirls around to face this newcomer, a little girl with oddly familiar dark brown eyes and a mane of bouncy curls the exact color of a newly minted penny. A crown of dandelions rests atop her head, tucked behind her ears. She wears a glossy red dress with a full petticoat. Scratches and mud cover her bare feet. There's a twig between two of her tiny toes. She lifts her skirt a little so she doesn't accidentally trip on it as she climbs onto his rock. Tilting her head, she looks at him askance. Why are you always so sad? Do I know you? He asks, cradling his feather to his chest. Maybe, she says, drawing the word out. She balances on one foot. Have you lost something? He frowns, gazing at his clasped hands. He can feel a crease form between his eyebrows. I think so. I don't really remember. Can you help me? No, only you can help yourself, she says. What does that mean? He demands. She clasps her hands in front of her. You've got to find it on your own. He snorts. Thanks for nothing, then. So what is it you're looking for? She asks politely. I told you, I don't remember, he snaps, growing increasingly frustrated. If I knew, I wouldn't still be here, would I? I'd be out there looking for it. Is it this pretty? She holds up his feather and points to it. His hands are empty. That seemingly innocent little girl stole his most precious thing in the whole world. And she did it from more than 20 feet away. What a sneaky thief. And he points to the ground in front of him. Give that back, right now, it's mine. She leaps off of the rock, almost landing face first in the moist earth, before hastily scrambling away. Pausing at the center of the clearing, she curtsies and disappears into the woods. Her parting call is a challenge that echoes mockingly from between the trees. Come and get it if you can. He stares after her, dumbstruck. The nerve of that child. The feather is the only thing he has to prove to himself that the magnificent birdsong he witnessed was real. Without it, his waiting was for nothing. No, he won't stand for this at all. But in his entire life, never has he ventured beyond this clearing. He will never have to leave his comfortable, safe home far behind. Can he do that? Will he be able to find his way back once he leaves? Once he leaves. Surely, it would be easier just to forget the whole thing and go back to waiting on his rock. Is one mere feather worth the risk of losing everything he's ever known? For one moment, indecision roots him to the spot. He peers at his empty hands, and then looks back to the spot where the girl stood only seconds before. Slowly, his fingers curl into tight fists. He takes a step forward. Yes. The answer is yes. He can sit and wait no longer. He must go.